What's good, guys? Welcome to the show where we research conspiracies and all things paranormal, except for today.
We're so good at our intro now.
Yeah, it's kind of natural.
So, on this paper right here, we have...
Embarrassing.
You've seen our video by now of our embarrassing childhood memories together. But now this is our embarrassing memories of him in the city and me in the country.
I kind of don't want to do this.
But we're going to. Do it for the views.
For the tubs.
I guess you you can say one and then I'll say one.
Alright, well, let's start off by this one. So, I just got out of football practice because I played football when I was younger. This was, a while back, but, so, we was just chilling. We was riding back, and I decided to sit on the tailgate wearing the compression pants that we wear in football, which slide around on the slippery truck bed, right? And the driver decided to hit 30 and then hit the brakes real hard, and I slid out of the truck. Almost broke my head. It's pretty interesting. That's
probably why you're kind of fucked up today.
Yeah, probably.
What's one of mine? Okay. When I was in 6th grade, I lived on my street. It was all boys, and so I was like a tomboy pretty much, as you can pretty much all tell by now. And we all would ride our bikes around, and we'd have bike races, and we were racing down the street. And when you go around the corner, there is it kind of tilts a little bit, and then there's loose gravel all down here. And so I was riding my bike really fast. I hit the gravel, and then I flew into a fire hydrant, flipped over it, still on my bike, and then landed with the bike on top of me. And I was so dazed, I sat up and I looked down at my leg, and there was just blood spilling everywhere. There's a hole this big in my leg with the kickstand in it.
So, I remember getting a call about this when it happened.
Yeah.
I was sitting in a Chinese buffet. I was just doing my thing.
Was it my mom that called you?
No, it was... I don't know. I think you called me.
No, I didn't have a phone then. I was only in 6th grade.
I remember somebody calling, and then my mom told me. So your mom probably called my mom,
yeah.
And my mom told me. But, I remember I was eating, and then everybody just started laughing.
It was bad. And, the ambulance people came, and they were like, you need to go to a hospital now. And so we went into, this first care, first aid place, and they were like, you need to go to, we can't help you. We're going to send you over here immediately. And so I spent, 2 hours in a hospital bed getting, 7 or 8 layers of stitches in my leg. And I still have a gnarly scar. And, yeah. That was the last time I ever rode a bike for 4 years, because I was so traumatized. My happy ass walked.
I've walked those with her, but she talked about her bloody incident, so I'm gonna talk about mine. And the way I always describe it to people is I got into a fight with a vegetable and lost. Okay, so I had a knife. I grabbed a knife, but it wasn't the knife I was supposed to be using. I grabbed it was it was a meat cleaver, but it was about this and that, so it was a small one.
Oh, I remember this now.
And it was a butternut squash, and I was trying to cut it in half, and I chopped it down the middle, and I couldn't pull it out because it got stuck. So my dumb ass turned the whole thing upside down, put my hand on top, grabbed the handle, and went like this, almost chopped my thumb off and chopped straight through here, and I was just like, fuck, gotta go to the hospital. So,
and then in that situation, his mom called my mom and then told me, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so what they did was they shot me with 100 milligrams of fentanyl, which is kind of like synthetic heroin, I believe. So I was pretty loopy, and I remember them giving me stitches I had 9 stitches, and it took forever for them to get the stitches in. And they put the first round in and realized that my skin is too thick, so they had to redo it with a thicker needle and a thicker line, and that shit sucked.
This involves Cody, who is sitting right over there. I'm a horrible, horrible sister, okay? I took him swimming once because he really wanted to go to the pool. And it was just me and him, and I was like, okay, like, he can hang out with his friends, and I'll, like, sit there and just, like, hang out on my phone, whatever, like, get a tan. Well...
With hand sanitizer.
Cody decides he wants to go into the deep end, and at this point, like, he's not hanging out with anybody else, so I'm over there with him, and I have, like, my feet in the water, and he was like, I'm gonna try to swim. And he, like, kind of pushes himself off the edge, and it's about 10 feet, and I just see him, like, start treading water a little bit, and then he just goes down. And I thought he was just playing with me, and I was like, oh, whatever, dude. And then he didn't come up. So I jump in, and I just, like, reach down, and I grab him by the arm and just pull him up and put his hand on the edge, and he's, like, choking up water when he comes up, and he looks at me and he's like, I almost died. And we were right next to a lifeguard, too, who didn't do shit except sit there and laugh. And I was like, wow. So that was the time I about let Cody die.
Alright, so I've got another one. I don't remember if it was at Six Flags or it was at some type of water park, but we were in these tubes. It was called the Lazy River, and we would sit in tubes and we would go around. The water would push us around. I decided to, like, stand up, like, inside the tube, and my friend was going by, and I was like, oh yeah, watch this, and I tried to, like, jump over the tube, but my swimming trunks, they had the string got stuck on the handle to the tube, so I was stuck upside down. I almost drowned, and I couldn't get back up, and finally I got up, and the lifeguard was just staring at me, and my friend was laughing his ass off. I was just like, wow, I could have died, and they would have laughed.
This happened 3 years ago. I was dating my ex, and I was with Carly. Carly lived in her old house. We went to a fireworks stand in Illinois, so the fireworks, like, they weren't illegal, but they weren't, like, legal at the same time, you know. But they were still the ones that, like, went up in the air and went boom. And it was around the 4th of July, and we were like, hey, let's just go on a back road, like, a mile out and go light this off because we want to see it. And we had, like, 2 or 3 other ones with us, and so we let those off. And then we let this other one off. Well, it falls over and starts shooting into the cornfield. The cornfield's dry, so the corn catches on fire. And we are running around trying to stomp it out as the fireworks are still coming out, because it was like a round of 20. And they just kept going off, and more corn just kept catching on fire. And we get back to Carly's house, and her dad was like, I heard it. Did you guys have fun? And we were like, yeah.
So, I did something similar, except mortars, they have the little balls that you stick in the tube. Well, we pretty much said fuck the tube. We got a Gatorade bottle, poked a hole in the top, and just put the wick through the cap, and lit it, and then threw the bottle. And it just happened to be in a school parking lot on the 4th of July. Now, it was vacant. There was nobody there.
Was this down there?
Where? No.
Okay.
It was down in a different school.
Okay.
But, like, it exploded right as a cop started coming back around the corner. And then he flicked his lights, and then we just took off.
Did you get caught?
No.
Awesome.
Because we were, like, the house that we were at with the party and stuff was just right across the street. So we took off back over there. And, like, a bunch of other kids were over there in the school lighting off fireworks, so we weren't getting caught. And when I said it was empty, there was no cars around and there was no kids around the area we were doing it, because there was this front part where all the kids were lighting off their fireworks, and then there was a back lot where we went because we're stupid and wanted to blow stuff up. So we blew that up there, We ran around this side, which had a fence. We hopped the fence and then went back over to the house with the party. And that's, yeah.
Now this one also has to do with fire and being in a field where we shouldn't be. So there's this road outside of town. It's called Whitaker, and it's not paved. It was never paved. There were always rumors that it was gonna get paved because like everybody goes there to like go mudding in their trucks because like when it rains it gets really muddy and there's these big ruts and you just have a fun time. Well, last summer I was with Austin and Matt and some of our other friends that I don't talk to today, and we went through a cone sealing phase. And we had a bunch of cones, not from around here, like from elsewhere, and we also like Cody had them. But we went and we like set them up in a satanic circle. We poured gas all over them. And we got some like just lit it on fire and it just goes whoosh. And the fire is like burning out after a while and we're like, okay, let's go walk back to it. And we start walking there. When we get like 3 or 4 feet away, it like the fire that's like burning out, it just goes woof again, and we all just start running backwards, and we're like, okay, maybe Satan is here.
Not smart.
Yeah, not smart, but funny. And so we just let the cones like burn there overnight, and we all went back the next day, and we were like, well, they're still here, so just covered in ash.
So, this next story takes place in the woods. I was doing some things that I wasn't supposed to be doing, and I wasn't in my right mind, let's put it that way. So, I did whatever we was doing. It was the marijuanas, so, yeah, we did that, and I was on this, because there's this big tree log that goes across the creek like this, and then on this side there's one tree that's growing up, and I stood on top of this log here, and I thought there was 2 trees behind it, so I just jumped off and tried to grab the 2 trees, but only grabbed the one, and and I fell, and there was a log on the bottom, and I hit, and my ankle hit, and then it just went like that. And it sprained real bad, and I like the way to get out of those woods was you had to go across the creek that was full of water. It was probably 2-3 feet deep, and then you had to go up a hill, straight path, and then up another hill that was surrounded by a bunch of wet mud and a bunch of weeds. So I had to get out of that, and then I also had to cross a busy ass street to get back to my house, just to get to the hospital. And then the fucking nurses, when they x-rayed me, they like looked surprised as fuck, so I thought I broke my shit, but then they just wrapped it up and sent me home. But yeah, that's just one of the dumb shits I did on the marijuanas.
A lot of my stories have to do with fire. We like when people throw stuff away, they just kind of like leave it out on the side of the road, and like whatever happens to it happens to it. And so we were driving through town one night and we saw this mattress with somebody's trash. So we go and take it at like 11 o'clock at night, and we go out to the country, and we like tore a hole open in the middle of it and put gas in it and then lit it on fire, and we were like watching the inside burn out. Well, the fire got really big, and there was a low-hanging tree branch like above it, so we caught the tree on fire. And that, it was hard to put it out. I didn't put it out, other people did. I'm disappointed in us. We aren't the brightest.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be it for this video. We still have a shit ton more.
And if you want to see more, give a like. We got
We're
more. Still making embarrassing memories, like the
all-nighter vlog.
Yeah, a series of unfortunate events. I was just gonna say that. Go watch it. It's bad.
Horrible.
Catastrophic.
Extremely bad. But watch it for our pain.
If you love a good giggle and you like to see other people suffer, that video is meant for you.
Well, I mean, we're gonna end this video off here. If you liked, like the video. If you dislike the video. Comment down below. Hit that subscribe button.
Follow our social medias that are going to be linked down below.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitters. Follow it up. And
we'll see you next Tuesday with another spooky video. But this video wasn't really spooky, so yeah. Bye. At 5. I should not have worded it like that. Hey Cody, can you go put this in your fridge? For a few.
Yeah.
We took a mattress that we found. Now he Snapchats me. Asshole.